It was kind of a quiet week. Your man was kind of wilding though.
Who's my man?
Yachty, I feel like has been bugging a bit. I
did see him something. He was on IG Live addressing the Caribou situation.
Not just that, a couple situations. I think Yachty for the past few weeks keeps saying, I'm never going back to social media. I'm done with this. I feel like he's been reading so many comments lately and just had his crash out moment. Like, fuck all that. I'm crashing out. I don't care what I say. I started with this. I'm going to address everybody at this point.
And that's the dangerous thing about when you jump into that, because you'll start reading comments and you'll start seeing what people are saying about you. And then you feel like you have to address certain things. But in addressing those certain things, like going on IG Live or something like that, it's going to create more comments and more back and forth from the people that are viewing it. And now you're caught up in a whole crash out session.
Because, all right, we'll get to the Caribou thing, but what started it was, his co-host Mitch on their podcast, which is one of his best friends. They've been friends before he was famous. Like, that's his man's. I think Mitch was the one that wanted to start a podcast, and Yachty was like, all right, I'll do it with you.
I did see that clip of Yachty saying, I'm a rapper. I don't need to start no fucking podcast. And like, I don't need that. I did that for you to, help build a platform for you and put some money in your pocket, which I can respect. If you got a friend and you like, okay, let me try to carve a lane for my boy, at the same time use my influence and my platform to help build his. So I respect that. But I did see a clip of the episode they had with Key Glock.
And this is what started the crash out based off the comments. And
I'll be honest, I didn't like what Yachty said. Like, I don't think that friends should speak to each other in that type of way when you're talking about making money and this, that, or you wouldn't have this without me. Like, when you're friends, you don't even need to say that or throw that in the mix.
Yeah, because Key Glock was sitting there like his parents were arguing.
Yeah, like
he just sat there quietly like, all right, so I got music out.
Right.
I know they were having a bigger conversation and it got clipped down. But what Yachty was saying was, hey, Mitch, you don't know what it's like to just start something completely from scratch. You had me, so don't just go tell someone to go get a job because you never had a job. He went on that rant. And Mitch was cool. He didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Then all of Twitter started killing Yachty for the same reason you're saying. Like, it's kind of fucked up to do that in public with your mans.
Yeah.
If you're going to have that convo, do it privately. Definitely not in front of Key Glock while it's being recorded.
Right.
So Yachty then is really mad at the comments, but then gets on live and is like, well, Mitch never went to Twitter to say, yo, that's how we speak to each other. And then just went on a fuck Mitch rant. Like he was supposed to do something.
Right.
They went from being cool to Mitch probably sitting at home like, are we still on this? It was my job to go to Twitter to say, Yachty, it's okay to talk to me that way.
Right. Yeah, I didn't understand that. And then I seen Yachty saying that he was going to end the podcast, that he's not doing it no more. And I just was like, it's okay to have moments where you fuck up and say things to friends and do shit, and then have that moment of accountability and apologize. Like, yo, listen, man, I said some things I shouldn't have said. Because I remember watching the Kevin Hart documentary. He had a situation like that on the plane with his trainer.
Yeah,
and he said some things to his trainer, which is one of his best.
He went crazy.
One of his best friends, and things that he said, just as men, you don't say to each other, but as friends, it was just nasty. Because it's like, Kevin, you don't have to say you're the guy here. You don't have to say you're the superstar. You don't have to say you're the breadwinner. Yes, we all know that we're blessed and fortunate enough to have you as a friend in our life, to put ourselves in better situations. But at the same time, I'm your friend, number one, but I'm also the guy that's keeping you physically in shape to be this comedic rock star that you are. I'm training you. I'm helping you, stay in shape and feel better about yourself, perform better. So I have a purpose here too. It's not like you're just the rich comedic superstar.
You hired me. I have a craft. I'm a professional, and you hired me.
But in our work relationship, we've also developed a chemistry and a brotherhood and a friendship.
Yeah, that
certain things you just don't need to ever say. And I will give Kevin Hart, props, because he recognized, was drinking, was drunk, said some things I shouldn't have said. He apologized.
I mean, the fact he didn't even bury that footage is kind of crazy.
But that
he looked nuts.
But I like that, because it's like, I'm going to show y'all my fucked up moments, but I'm also going to show y'all how, as brothers, that we also are able to mend that shit and move through it. So this Yachty situation, I think, is his moment to, he said some things he shouldn't have said, But now show us the mending and the accountability moment.
And also, and maybe I missed it, but I don't think I did. Mitch wasn't saying nothing for Yachty to crash out at.
It probably was some shit behind the scenes that spilled over in front of the camera.
Then do that shit behind the scenes.
I agree, but it's a tricky thing when we work together, and if anybody knows about this type of shit we do, when you work together and there's things going on behind the scenes, it's hard for that shit not to spill over in front of the camera because it's real emotions.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
This is how I really feel. I'm not gonna sit here and act like we don't have this situation going on. I'm not going to just bury that. My energy is different, obviously, and this is why my energy is different.
And then it got paired in with the Caribou thing, which was already weird because we were at Broccoli City and it was Yachty and a Concrete family.
Yeah.
And like the talk of the entire festival was Caribou wasn't on stage with them.
Yeah.
Even on the timeline as well. So there was clearly something going on. But the crash out had to be involved with that as well. He started leaking references of freestyles. He said she don't write shit. He created her, dressed her. You'd never be shit, bitch. He went nuts.
Do we think that Yachty is this something? Is he going through something on a personal level?
Yeah, well, of course I don't know, but judging by his actions publicly,
we've never seen Yachty like this.
No, not at all. But he has been kind of like internet moody for the past few weeks, to the point that he keeps saying, "I'm not going back on social media," and I think he just finally cracked and had to get a bunch of shit off his chest that he's been wanting to say for quite some time.
Because Yachty has always been great at only being seen when he wants to be seen, only being heard when he wants to be heard. Him even doing a podcast was interesting because it gave us a more of a glimpse into Yachty's personality.
Yeah.
Which is great. I've seen a few episodes and a bunch of clips. So it was good to see Yachty in that space. But this Yachty though, as far as the things he's saying and doing and going on Instagram Live and things like that, because I've seen a little more summers than some people. I've got a little more experience in just watching people. I wouldn't be surprised if there is something that comes out to where, Yachty talks about maybe going through some things and he's dealing with some things emotionally and physically and probably under the influence of something. I wouldn't be surprised because this type of energy, you can, and again, Yachty he's been great at just maintaining this really fun, clean image.
I guess I'm with you on a possible substance thing. I hope that's not the case whatsoever.
I hope not either.
Or to even put that on someone, but it's not like anything's been super crazy. Like this Mitch moment wasn't that nuts.
Yeah.
Yachty has went through way crazier internet issues and slander than this entire thing. And then the Caribou thing, I mean, it's not really a shock that you put together your crew of friends. Like this wasn't some big shocking surprise that the world was like, oh, the guy that's behind this group helped style them.
Right.
Wrote some bars for them. Yeah, I think that pretty much checks out. So going on these insane rants to expose everyone doesn't seem like a Yachty type of thing whatsoever. So I'm with you.
It's not the Yachty that I'm used to. It's Yachty, again, he's been so fun and, his image has been very laid back and cool for so many years. To see him having this moment, I just, I hope not, but it has to be attached to something else. Yeah.
Or something behind the scenes that Mitch did that we don't know about, or that Caribou did, because she really hasn't said anything publicly. And we still don't really know why she completely left, but yeah, maybe there could have been something behind the scenes. But even she's been posting on her IG like, you need to move past this. I have not said a word about you. I don't care. Move the fuck on. And also, that verse is trash.
The On the Radar verse.
I know that's like a huge internet moment. And I appreciated what Yachty was saying, like on the producer side, like, yo, I put the 808s there so everyone's ears would perk up and you would be like the final star of this entire thing. But I try not to sound like the old hater.
Yeah.
Wasn't that crazy to me that someone revealed they ghost wrote trash? Like,
actually, he probably should have kept that to himself.
It wasn't a Simba freestyle. Like,
yeah, I get it. I get it. I understand what you're saying.
Like, we know he's written for City Girls.
Yep.
Some of that stuff, like, that takes, and we know Yachty is a good writer.
Which bar he wrote for them?
Don't do that, man.
Because I'm gonna be disappointed if he wrote some of those like overly sexual bars?
He probably did.
I'm like, why? How your brain went there?
Okay, but see, we can't do that because there's references. You could YouTube now a Big rapping Kim's verses, saying some nasty shit.
No, Big got one of the craziest bars ever in his own shit.
Again, Richard Pryor shit. But go to some of those Lil' Kim references that Big is rapping them.
Yeah.
Like he's rapping on them shits and saying some foul.
It's always
like,
funny.
Not only did he write it, he showed Kim how to deliver that shit.
Yeah, this is how you got to say it.
Because we all believe Kim when she says something. Because her delivery is amazing.
And then when we got the hardcore poster, it was like, oh, I believe everything she said.
Big was talking about suck a dick with conviction.
Yeah.
So how could I hate on Yachty for doing some City Girl records that are good?
Definitely not hating on her, but it's just interesting when, you know, you hear some of these female artists, you know, and it's like, no, but he wrote this. And I'm like, okay. And he wrote that like down?